Hello, I'm Jim Blakely, Notre Dame class of 1969. My dad was the head of Notre Dame Air Force ROTC, and he earned a master's degree from Notre Dame. If I were to catch you in a serious frame of mind and ask you how you got your degree from Notre Dame, you might tell me this: I earned it. So much of what we earn in life, we earn for ourselves. But what about those selfless people who are willing to give their time and their effort, and in some cases, their lives for someone else, someone they don't know, for a free and better world? My father, Captain Everett Blakely, did that in World War II, back when Hitler was overrunning Europe, when he had built Germany into a powerful war machine that rapidly crushed Poland, Denmark, Holland, Belgium, Norway, and France. Back then, Dad was a college student. He was earning his degree for himself when he realized he could be earning something far greater for far more people. He could, like so many other people, do something selfless. He could help stop Hitler and do his part to keep the world free. Dad became a pilot flying out of England into the deepest parts of Germany, bombing submarine pens and munition factories and bringing his men home safe to fly another day. The odds were always against them. World War II killed more people, destroyed more property, disrupted more lives, and probably had more far-reaching consequences than any other war in history. In the end, there were 50 million people dead. Fortunately, my dad was one of the survivors, one of those who helped to earn a victory and come home. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Dad flew a B-17 bomber. It was not the fastest aircraft, nor could it carry the most bombs, but for the role it played, it became a living symbol of American courage and sacrifice. It was a beautiful airplane with a sound as unique as a Harley Davidson. Inside, it had a crew of 10, a close-knit team. To use a football analogy, the pilot was a quarterback, the co-pilot the running back, the gunners were the linemen, and the navigator was the coach giving guidance. When Ara Parsegian once said, "In unity there is strength," he was talking about the Fighting Irish, but he could have been talking about the crew of any plane in the 100th Bomb Group. They were called the Bloody 100th. They were the most famous bomb group of World War II. In January 2024, Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks will tell the story of the men and missions of that group in the Apple TV Plus series called Masters of the Air, and I'd encourage you to watch it. My dad will be one of the characters. He will be played by actor David Shields, and I can't wait to see what Dad looks like in his portrayal. I want to see how he handles 3 of my dad's missions that stick out in my mind. All these missions occurred well before D-Day, when the Luftwaffe was the strongest air force in the world. The first mission to a German fighter factory at Regensburg on August 17, 1943. Dad usually flew the lead plane. A lead plane was first in a formation. When it turned right, the others behind turned right. When it turned left, the others left. When it dropped its bombs, the others dropped their bombs. The mission was a test of what some of the leaders of the 8th Air Force believed, that it was possible to go deep into the heartland of Germany and bomb key sites without fighter escort. There was bad weather that day and worse coordination between 2 divisions and terrible timing, and in Dad's words, we got hit pretty damn hard. It turned out that the Germans were also firing rockets, in addition to machine guns and 20-millimeter cannons at the American aircraft. German Flak came up from the ground. The 100th had 21 planes that left England. 9 were shot down and only 6 were flyable all the way back. 60 B-17s were lost on that one mission. Losses were so bad that President Franklin Roosevelt considered halting bombing missions. But Dad lived to fly another day, a day when they would not bomb Bonn, Germany, Bonn, Germany. Dad's navigator, Harry Crosby, wrote the book Winging a Prayer. He was a fan of Beethoven. One night before a mission, he played Beethoven's Fifth Symphony on his record player in the barracks and read the album liner cover to see about Beethoven growing up in Bonn. At 4 a.m. the next morning, the crew was woken up to go on a mission. Harry was navigating the mission. They were on the bomb run to the primary target, opened up the bomb bay doors, and when they did that, the plane slowed and shuddered. They looked down, and the target could not be seen due to clouds. It was the policy of the Air Force at that time to not bomb unless the target could be seen. They closed the bomb bay doors and went to the secondary target, risking enemy flak and fighter attacks. The secondary target was also clouded over, so they looked for a target of opportunity. In the distance, they saw clearly a large railroad marshaling yard. They got on the bomb run, ready to drop the bombs, and Harry Crosby looked at his map and saw that this was Bonn, Germany, Bonn, Germany. He announced to the crew, "We can't bomb here." Dad said, "Why not?" Harry replied, "This is where Beethoven was born and where he went to school. It's a university town." They closed the bomb bay doors and none of the 63 flying fortresses dropped bombs. In fact, Bonn was one of the least bombed cities in Germany, and for that reason it served as the German capital after the war from 1949 to 1990. All because Harry read the biography of Beethoven on the record album the day before. But Bremen was bombed, its submarine pens, and on October 8, 1943, Dad led the raid. After dropping bombs, flak hit an engine which caught on fire. They dove 3,000 feet to put the fire out, and another engine was shot out. Limping back to England with 2 engines out, they faced a 90-minute battle with Luftwaffe gunners. They were attacked time after time after time. The gunners were accurate that day. They shot down a record 9 Nazi planes, but they paid a steep price for their success. 4 gunners and Dad's co-pilot were seriously injured. The plane was not controllable, and it ran out of gas. Dad had to crash land in England, where a huge tree brought the plane to a halt, almost killing him. Salvage crews later counted more than 800 holes in the aircraft. In late 1943 and 1944, what the 100th Bomb Group achieved is what Hitler's generals called impossible. They flew in broad daylight into every sector of Germany. There wasn't a target in the Third Reich, even in the most eastern part of the country, that was safe from their missions. They took on the strongest and most lethally equipped fighter force Germany had assembled, but both sides paid a price. More than 26,000 members of the 8th Air Force died in Europe. That was more than all the U.S. Marines lost in all of World War II. If you think the world is selfish and rotten, go to the cemetery overlooking Omaha Beach and see what one group of men did for another on D-Day, June 1944. The new Spielberg-Hanks series, Masters of the Air, will tell some of the stories of just some of those selfless heroes of the war. I'm proud that one of them was my dad. Like so many other young men and women, we remember on Veterans Day They had the courage not to take freedom for granted. They were willing to earn it. Thank you.